I am just recording another look today. It's a very simple look with only a couple of steps. It would be for a lighter casual occasion. As you can see, I'm wearing a casual dress. It's just a maxi dress and it's got some grays in it, so that's the color scheme I'm going to go with, is a little bit of gray. As you can see, this side of my face is already done. It's really super simple, so I'm going to get started here. So first off, as always, I'm going to use a cream color over my whole eyelid for the eyeshadow. I shouldn't say as always, as per usual would be more accurate. And again, I just do this to help hold the eyeshadow, the powdered eyeshadow, in place and to give it a nice base. Because it does affect how the powdered eyeshadow looks as well. Should do a video about that sometime. And then I'm going to go in the corner, and I'm actually going to go under the eye. And if you watched my previous video, you know that I started doing this because I have little line creases under the eye right there. You can kind of see it. And they hold dark things like mascara and eyeliner and do not look very good when they do that. So if I fill them up with a really light, fill them up sounds really gross, but that's what I'm doing, right? With a cream color instead, then I don't have to worry about that. It's kind of like a protective coating, if you will. Okay, so next I'm going to use Stormy Gray, this guy up here. And I'm going to do, starting right about here in the crease of my eyelid, about a third of the way over. I'm going to brush it out. I'm not going to go all the way down to the corner of my eye, as you can see. I'm going to stay a little bit above that just to give my eye a little bit of lift. And I'm also not going to really go all the way down to my eyelash line, again, because I want just a little bit of highlight. But I'm going to just brush it out on this back third of my eye, a good ways below my eyebrow, but lifting up to here. So I'm following, if you can see the highlight of my cheekbone, following the highlight of my cheekbone pretty much. But I'm staying above that highlight to darken the shadow. So next I'm going to do a Moonstone color, which is a much lighter gray. I'm going to use, instead of the edge eyeshadow brush, which is what I just used, I'm going to use an all-around eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to start this one right up here in the corner of my eye, or close at least, right here, kind of like by the corner where my eyebrow ends, I guess. And this one I'm going to brush out, not over, not all the way over at least, the dark eyeshadow, but I'm going to brush sort of along the borders of the dark eyeshadow. So I'm blending it is really the purpose of that, but I'm also lightening any areas, you know, because it's hard to get it right the first time. And I'm going to start this down by the corner of my eye, brush up a little bit. So then after I brushed all over here, blended it, and done here, you can see I've got this shadow effect, right? Just like on the other side. And the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go, using the all-around eyeshadow brush, I'm going to go into my really light white highlight color. I'm going to do right here, almost on the brow line, right here in the corner and down. Just going to highlight the line of my nose and make sure my eyes aren't eaten by the shadow of my nose. And then finally I'm going to do right here, a little bit below really where I just did with the lighter gray. And again, that's because I have these deeper set eyes. I just want them not to be swallowed up. Okay, so that's eyeshadow. Next I'm going to do mascara. And I'm just going to do a really light basic brush on the top of my eyelashes. This would also be suitable like if I was going to go out for coffee and I was, you know, it's a brighter day, there's sun and stuff like that, this would be a really nice look. Because if I was in a dark restaurant, honestly, you'd find it hard to tell because it is such a light look. But if there's a place where there's just a little bit of natural sun, it's gonna hit off really well with my facial features. That's kind of a weird way to put that. I'm not doing any brow liner today because, like I said, this is a light look. You might call it like a natural look. That would be a good way to put it. And then I'm going to do a nude lipstick as my base coat here. Making sure to get in the creases and on the inside of my lips just a little bit. And then I'm going to do a dark lip gloss. Just like that. And I'm going to kind of rub it around until it's spread out pretty evenly. And I end up with just kind of this nice dark pink color. It's not even dark pink, it's actually kind of just pink. So, finally, knocking over my makeup as per usual, yay me. I'm going to do a coat of primer. I already did on half of my face. And a coat of foundation. And again, I'm just doing this because I'm having skin problems. I've been losing weight, which means that all of the toxins that were stored in that fat are being released, which means that I'm getting more acne than I ever get. It's driving me crazy, but it's like I'm going through it for a good reason, so I'm gonna stay strong. So spread that all around. Give it a couple of seconds to dry. I'm gonna stare very intently at the camera while I'm waiting for it to dry. Just kidding. I immediately looked at the mirror as soon as I said that. Mississippi to Mississippi. Give it like 20 seconds to dry. Is usually what I like to do. Clean off my foundation a little bit. I really love this foundation and primer because they're non-toxic. The foundation and primer I'm using, and a lot of non-toxic foundation and primers they're like clay, like wet clay, which I do not like the feeling of makeup on my face, so I'm not about wet clay. And these are not. I mean, I can tell I'm wearing foundation, but it's a very, very light feeling, and it comes off with the right makeup remover really easily too, which is nice. And it doesn't require a lot. It's only like a little pump. So, okay, so now I'm going to brush this out. Pro tip, because I am a pro, not at makeup. Whenever you're putting on makeup and foundation, you want to brush downwards because your skin is like shingles. And you don't want to get the foundation under the shingles, you want to get it over the shingles because you're painting, right? So, all over the place, over here, my ear, do all that, and that's it. Really, really simple. Yep. Now I'm going to do something with my hair, not anything crazy. So far I've just washed it, and then I put in a UV protectant spray, and then I put in a little bit of root lifter, which is why it's just a little bit less heavy at the top. Ooh, also, another tip here. When you're washing your hair, if you have curly hair like I do, especially if it's curly and fine, or you don't have a lot of it, when you're conditioning, you're going to want to avoid the roots if you're conditioning it, and then you're going to immediately style it or go out somewhere. And the reason that you do that is just because conditioner weighs down roots. So it's going to make your hair heavier. It's going to make your hair flatter if you've got it. So when you're conditioning, you want to do like the ends pretty much if you can. Or if you've got layered hair like I do like everything from here down. on the back. And I even kind of condition the roots in the back so I don't get like a fluffy back. But that's just my personal preference. Anyway, I'm gonna style it quick now. I had an adventure. My hairdryer broke, so I wasn't able to dry my hair. So here's what I did. First off, I took my hair, which is now dry, but it was wet at the time, or mostly wet, and I put it up into a ponytail, right about here. So it's off to the side on my head. Let me turn around here. And it's up towards the top of my head. Did a loose ponytail. So for me, that's only about one crossover, one little around. And then I pushed my roots forward so that my roots weren't flat against my head. And then I let my hair dry like that. Then I let it out. And I ended up with something like this. Since I've continued messing with it, it's a little bit flatter. But as you can see, it's got some nice lift to it. So, or maybe I should say it's got some nice body to it. So that's what I did when my hairdryer broke. The idea behind that is that I let it dry with my roots loose and my hair held high so that it would have body, it wouldn't dry flat. Because when you put product in it, it weighs down your hair. And even though I put in a root lifter, if I've got my hair flat against my head or if I had done a tight ponytail, the root lifter really wouldn't have mattered because I would have been killing any body that my hair would have had. So doing it like that is kind of a no mess, no stress way to style it and get a little bit of body. If you have finer hair or if you've got kind of curly hair like me. Curly hair. It's really not curly right now. Wavy curly, I guess. Whatever. Wavy. So, yeah. That's the end of my look. If I didn't like how the results turned out, I always could have just left it up in a ponytail. So again, like this. Where I kind of brush over the roots on the thicker side of my hair, the part that has more hair, so that I get just a little bit of body on the top and I lift it up just like that. But I like how it looks like this, even with the little weird wave. So thank you for your time. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Please, I'm sorry, I was trying to think of a way to say that without being douchey, but I couldn't, so hit the subscribe button. Thank you.